Hello, sixth graders. This is Mrs. Wasserman. We are going to do a review for your inequalities quiz. This will help you be prepared for your quiz next week. The materials you will need today are your graph book, pencil, your inequalities flashcards, and a calculator if you have one. Now let's review the key words for inequalities. First, let's start with our less than symbol, which could also mean fewer than. We have our greater than symbol, which could also mean is more than. Next is our less than or equal to, which could also mean is at most or is no more than. Then we have our greater than or equal to symbol, which could also mean is at least or is no less than. This is a reminder on how to read inequalities. We read this inequality from left to right. So J, or a number J, is greater than or equal to negative 12. We would read this inequality again from left to right. 5 is less than the sum of a number G and 7. Or you could say G plus 7. There are many ways to say that expression. Next, we could come up with a situation and have to write an inequality to match the situation. So a lifeboat can hold up to 24 people. So we use the following framework, where we first choose a variable. I'm going to choose P for number of people. Then we have to choose an inequality that matches the situation. In this case, it's less than or equal to, because the lifeboat can hold 24 people or less. And then we use the number that's given in the situation. In this case, it's 24. If we put that all together, we get P is less than or equal to 24. That's the inequality that matches this situation. Now let's review how to graph inequalities. So an open circle means the number is not a solution. A closed circle means the number is a solution. If we see the less than symbol, we know that we will have an open circle at that number. If we see the greater than symbol, we know that we will have an open circle at that number. If we have a less than or equal to symbol, we know that we'll have a closed circle or a filled in circle at the number on the number line. If we have a greater than or equal to symbol, we will have a closed circle on the number line. Remember that an open circle shows that the number is not a solution, whereas a closed circle shows that the number is a solution. So if you see this line underneath the less than or the greater than symbol, we know that we're going to have a closed circle. Now let's remember about the arrow and which way it should point. So the arrow will point left towards the smaller numbers. That means that the solution set is less than the number it's being compared with. So in this example, we have x is less than 2. So we have an open circle at 2 and an arrow pointing to the left. Just say that x is any number that's less than 2. Now in this example, we have an arrow pointing to the right, and that's pointing towards the larger numbers. That means that the solution set is more than the number it's being compared with. So in this example, we have x is greater than or equal to 0. So we have a filled in circle because x could equal 0, but it could also equal any number greater than 0. So we have an arrow pointing to the right. Let's put that all together. If we have the inequality x is greater than or equal to 3, we show a closed circle at 3 because it's a greater than or equal to symbol, and then an arrow pointing to the right because x could be anything greater than 3. If we have this inequality x is less than or equal to 3, we have a closed circle at 3 and an arrow pointing to the left. It's a closed circle because the inequality is less than or equal to. And the arrow points to the left because x could be anything less than 3. Now we have x is greater than 3. So we have an open circle at 3 and an arrow pointing to the right. So x cannot equal 3, but it can equal anything greater than 3. Last, we have x is less than 3. So we have an open circle at 3 and an arrow pointing to the left. X can equal anything less than 3, but it cannot equal 3. So that's why we use an open circle at 3. The last thing we're going to look at is how to tell if a number is a solution. So can h equal 30 be a solution to this inequality? H minus 9 is greater than 22. So the first thing we're going to do is plug in a 30 for h. So now we have 30 minus 9 is greater than 22. We have a question mark there because we want to know, is this true? Well, 30 minus 9 is 21. So now we have to ask ourselves, is 21 greater than 22? No. So 30 is not a solution to this inequality. Let's look at another one. Can x equal 3 be a solution to this inequality? X plus 4 is less than 10. So the first thing we're going to do is plug in a 3 for x. So 3 plus 4 is less than 10. Now we want to know, is this true? Is 7 less than 10? Yes. So x could equal 3, and we would get a true statement. Okay, this is all for our review today. If you have any questions about the material that will be on your inequalities quiz, please reach out to your math teacher. And have a good day.